Hello, this is Angelia with today's wisdom. Today's wisdom comes from Daily Ohm, Offerings of the Day, Finding Gifts in All. When we have good days, we often find ourselves going over the details later, enjoying them a second and third time as we feel the joy of our good fortune. And I've done that, I'm sure you have. When we have bad days, we may find ourselves poring over the details of our misfortunes. And I know I have. I try to let it go at the end of the day and, give it up. But, sometimes we dwell on things, it's just part of having a human brain. When we have bad days, however, we can reframe those bad days by making it a daily practice to spend some time before going to bed each night to review the gifts we received that day. And by that, it can be any little thing, any little positive things. And like I used to tell my life coaching clients, every time a bad thought rises up, think of 3 good ones. If you're remembering a bad event, think of 3 good events, to kind of push that out of your mind. Regardless of our evaluation of the day, good, bad, mediocre, we can call forth the many blessings that were present. This practice transforms our consciousness as it reveals the fullness at the heart of our lives. And every night before you go to bed, it's a good thing to count your blessings. You were blessed with a roof over your head. You were blessed with food to eat that day. You were blessed with clothes to wear that day, and soap and shampoo and things that some other people don't have. So if you start counting your blessings before you go to bed, you're liable to go to fall asleep before you get done. I know I have. This practice transforms our consciousness as it reveals the fullness at the heart of our lives. Some days it's easy to recount the gifts we've received. On other days, we have to look harder for the offerings of the day. But once we do, we will find there are always quite a few. And that can help you, not have such a negative mindset. There are a lot of people who have a really negative mindset. But if you count the positive, you'll realize positive still usually does outweigh the negative. You'll have 25 good things that happen to you that day, and maybe 1 or 2 bad, and just people like to dwell on the negative. It gets stuck in your mind because, like I said, you have a human brain, your little monkey mind with the fight or flight responses back there. Oh, this is a big deal, and maybe it's not, maybe that's just your brain telling you it is. We can keep it simple and be grateful for the fact that we have a roof over our head, nature, food, and our health, and if you don't have all of those things, you probably have some of those things, and you can be grateful for those, because there are those of us who don't necessarily have our health like we used to have. I used to go out and ride my bike and roller skate and dance and have fun like that. Can't do that anymore, but I'm still here. I'm still alive and kicking. So, that's a blessing. My goodness. I decided to itch. Everything's trying to itch today. Bad allergy day. Once we have fully experienced these gifts, we can move forward and outward to the gifts that may require a little more thought, such as the gifts of forgiveness, tolerance, and acceptance that we may have learned that day. Because you learn something new every day, and if you don't, that's a shame. You should. Otherwise, you're stifling yourself. But forgiveness is a gift, because you don't do it to, forgive the other person, honestly. You do it to give yourself permission to let it go. That's what you do it for. And that is a gift to yourself. Tolerance. If you're a sexist or racist or whatever-ist you might be, really the only person that you're making miserable by being this way is yourself. Because even though it does affect other people, not to the degree that it affects you. It gets you upset and your heart racing and your, stress level going up so that, you get cortisone happening there and you get a big belly. But it doesn't affect them as much as it affects you. It might make them sad for a moment, but then they're going to find something else, to make themselves happy and move on. So really, you're hurting yourself the most if you're any kind of ist. Acceptance. That's a big thing for some people. Sometimes you just have to accept the way things are and do your best and move on, and have a good life, even if, things aren't what you would want them to be. Things are hard. Sometimes you just have to learn to accept the cards you've been dealt and play them and move on. We can always be grateful for the people in our lives who support us, no matter how bad our day may have been. And, we all have someone who supports us, even if we have to remember back to, a teacher or a grandparent or whatever. It's a rare person who everyone in their life has been mean to them and not supportive of them. So even if you have to remember back in the past, there was probably someone who supported you in your endeavors, and wanted to help you. And you can, think about them, and that will help. Just reviewing the many positive offerings in our lives provides a context for our difficulties that puts them in proper perspective. But we can also make an effort to see the gifts even in adverse circumstances. Because sometimes they teach us something. Something bad happens. It can teach you how to do better next time on this thing, or what you now not want to get involved in or do. And it can also teach you, if it's a person that's causing a problem for you, how to not be like this person, how you don't want to be like this person. And maybe in the past you might have said this or did this or whatever. Think, well, I definitely don't want to be like that, so I'll never, say this or do this again. So you can learn from adverse situations. This can be challenging and may require some practice before it feels authentic. But we have all had the experience of a disappointment or loss leading to a surprising gain. And I'm sure we all have. We've had things where it didn't go how we wanted to, but then someone else, said, hey, well, what about this? Or why don't you do this? You're good at this. And, sometimes good things can come out of bad things, Just remembering this and trusting the give and take of life can help us to remember that sometimes the best gifts of all are the ones we don't recognize right away. And that can be true. As you get older, you might see things, like maybe the love of your life let you down or did something really bad to you. And then you look back and realize, well, you know what? Now that I know all this stuff about this person and, they've had other problems with other people, I'm glad that they, did not have the role in my life that I wanted them to have. So sometimes disappointment is a blessing in disguise. In addition, the lessons we learn in the face of adversity are offerings in their own right, allowing us to count patience, wisdom, and fortitude alongside the other gifts of the day. And those usually will come with age and experience, if you let them. Now, I know some older people who never have learned any lessons from any lessons they've been taught. They've just learned to be bitter and, hateful, and, that's a shame because that's how they're going to go out. Just, but with age, you learn patience, especially if you become a parent. Little people crazy. Pets, we have an older cat now that's having some problems. You learn patience. Wisdom comes with experience and with exploring your own mind. And if you don't do that, then yeah, you're only hurting yourself. And fortitude. Again, if you're brave and you step out, you get, braver and step out more, and going after your, life is easier for you. So, we have many gifts that come our way during the day. And sometimes gifts take time as we, get older. So, think about the offerings that the day has brought for you, and find the gifts in them. And when you can do that, it can help you have a more positive outlook rather than have a negative outlook all the time. Think about it. That's all for now.